Beginning of my video. Boom!
Welcome back to Boring Reviews.
Boring land.
Oh, just kidding.
Blasphemer!
Hello,
Hello, Boring Review Nation!
Kind of pointless.
We know all things. It was over in a snap.
We really want it. Alright, we'll be nice.
Only you can be a Patreon.
Oh my gosh!
Look out.
You don't need to follow the show to be hyped.
Alright, welcome back to Boring Land. Nick here.
Chris.
And that's right, I'm not giving up on Boring Land just yet, even though it was easily outvoted. Boring Review Nation definitely won with a landslide.
It's your channel. You can do whatever you want.
I like this guy and his moxie. So, Nick here.
And Chris.
Again?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Twice.
double McGum, okay? Double the fun.
What about juicy fruit, huh?
Juicy fruit? Oh, there's a new juicy fruit strawberry
Is there?
something mixture I just bought for the kids. Yeah.
Ooh.
Anyways, this is the earliest we've ever digressed. We digress, and we are ready for another religious reaction video from Cogito. Pronounce it correctly this time. And I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly, but at least I'm not saying cognito or whatever I said. And both of us reacted to what is Hinduism. We learned a whole lot. It's a lot of information, almost impossible to retain in one sitting, but we learned quite a bit from that. And, you know, you reacted to it pretty nicely. So we, like we mentioned in the first video, we're religious ourselves. And so we care about this kind of stuff. And it's always fun to learn about different people's beliefs. For me, it's never a threatening thing.
No, I've never really felt threatened by it. I always like to see similarities between what I believe, what other people believe. In the video we're going to watch today, I've been very curious about this group of people, this belief. They always seem like pretty upstanding people to me.
Yeah, me too. So we're looking at what is Sikhism. I'm probably not saying that correctly.
Is it Sikhism? Sikhism?
And I remember we had this conversation when we reviewed Kesari. I think it was Kesari that we reviewed. We had this conversation about, and I'm pretty sure in that movie they said Sikh, but at the same time we just dropped a review for Burfi, and I kept calling it Barfi because that's how it's pronounced in English. So what do I know? I'm sure this guy will let us know.
Kesari was awesome, by the way.
Kesari was awesome, 100%.
that.
Those guys were soldiers, man. And when I say soldier, I mean those guys were committed to what they believed in.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and they were soldiers. So we are going to review, or react, what is Sikhism. I'm going to stick with that until they tell me otherwise. How he pronounces it may not be the correct way, so let us know in the comment section how to correctly pronounce it. You guys are always really good about that. Please and thank you. Before we get into this, don't forget to
Thumbs up.
and,
Like it.
and
Subscribe it.
so if you like the video, subscribe. I'm not just telling you to blindly subscribe, but if you don't mind blindly subscribing, just push that button right now. We appreciate that. But we and give us some feedback. We want to know what videos do you like the most that we do. We enjoy these religious educational videos. We want to make sure you do as well. With
Absolutely.
all that being said, check the Patreon. With all that being said, let's get started.
This video is made possible thanks to Audible. Visit audible.com/Cogito or text Cogito to 500 500 to start your 30-day free trial. This is the Hari Mandir, the world's largest free kitchen. It serves free vegetarian food to about 100,000 people every day.
Jeez.
It's also the holiest site in Sikhism, the fifth largest and youngest of the world religions. A religion that preaches about love, peace, and the equality of humankind, but also asks its followers to carry swords. So, who are the Sikhs? What do they believe? And why
That
does
is so
everyone
cool.
confuse them
Peaceful
for
appearance
Muslims?
sword?
Well, let's find out.
Gotta be ready.
Yes. Can't wait to hear what the sword's for. So I remember that in Kesari. At least they had the blade.
Sikhism originated in the Punjab area of India and Pakistan 500 years ago. The Punjab, the land of 5 rivers, is one of the most historically and culturally dense areas on Earth. This was the home of one of the world's earliest civilizations, the Indus Valley Civilization. Persians, Greeks, Central Asians, Mughals, the British, and others have all invaded here. I meant Mughals. Mughals invaded here. Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam, Jainism, and a handful of other faiths have all left their mark on the region. The diverse culture of the Punjab has heavily influenced the Sikhs. Today there are about 25 million Sikhs. They make up about 2% of India's population, but about 60% of the Punjabs. The Sikh diaspora is spread out across the world, with concentrations in the UK, Canada, the US, East Africa, Australia and Malaysia. Sikhs, interestingly enough, make up about 1.5% of Canada's population, which is second only to India. The word Sikh means learner. Sikhs call their religion Sikhi, Gursikhi, and Gurmat. You can't really understand the Sikhs without understanding their relationship with gurus. The word guru means a teacher or spiritual guide. The guru teaches and the Sikh learns. The Sikhs follow the teachings of 10 succeeding gurus that have shaped Sikhism. The first and most important guru is Guru Nanak, the founder of Sikhism. Born in 1469 CE near what is today Lahore, Pakistan. Nanak was seen as special even as a child. As a baby, he was said to have had the laugh of an adult man. Here comes the bird. As a teenager, he preferred to listen to Hindu saints and Sufi Muslim preachers rather than his own parents. As an adult, Nanak would settle in Sultanpur, where he worked for the government. The actions of his fellow government officials and the rich and powerful disgusted him as they exploited ordinary working people, and he hated the caste divisions that he saw all around him. One day, while bathing in a river near Sultanpur, Nanak had a miraculous experience. He was swept up into God's court, where God spoke to him. Nanak reappeared 3 days later, declaring, "There is no Hindu and there is no Muslim. There was only God." This was a message inspired by his experience with God, one that spoke in favour of the equality of humankind and against caste, ethnic and religious divisions. Nanak would later say, "Accept all humans as your equals and let them be your only sect."
Good message.
9 human gurus followed Nanak, all preaching the same message of one God and the equality of humankind. 2 fundamental events that shaped Sikh history was the martyrdom of 2 gurus. The first was the 5th guru, Guru Arjan, who was roasted alive by the Mughal Emperor Jahangir. The next martyr will be the 9th guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur. He was beheaded by the Mughals while attempting to defend the religious rights of Hindus. His son, Guru Gobind Rai, the 10th and final human guru, started a new Sikh community called the Khalsa, and ended the line of human gurus by making the Guru Granth Sahib, the Sikh holy book, the last living guru. We'll take a closer look at both of these in a bit. So with that brief history out of the way, let's take a look at the core beliefs of Sikhism. 1. One God. The Sikh holy book, the Guru Granth Sahib's opening sentence is just 2 words. Ik Onkar. There is only one God. Nanak made sure it was clear that the focus was on one. Ik doesn't just mean one, it is literally the numeral 1. One God is by far the most important belief in Sikhism. This may not be the kind of God you're used to though. Sikhs believe in a formless, genderless, universal God, beyond description. This God is all of reality and is within everything. They believe no idol or image could ever represent this being, so they use the sacred symbol of Ik Onkar to represent it instead. Many Sikhs refer to this one God by the name Waheguru, Wondrous Lord. Guru Nanak and his followers constantly emphasized that this one could be understood in many different ways. No religion had a monopoly on the truth. Nanak's one could be known as Vishnu, Allah, the Tao, Yahweh, the algorithm, or any other name or belief. There was no need to fight over whose God was the true God, as they were all the same one. Recognize all mankind, whether Muslim or Hindu, as one. The same God is the creator and nourisher of all. Recognize no distinctions among them. The temple and the mosque are the same, so are Hindu worship and Muslim prayer. Human beings are all one. Guru Gobind Singh. The lack of a gender for this one God means that there is no difference between men and women in Sikhism. Sikhism was among the first major world religions to make the radical suggestion that maybe, just maybe, women are people too. Women in Sikhism have fought battles, led religious services, and even acted as some of the longest reigning leaders of the entire community. Sikhism isn't based on doing things to get into some heaven or hell. Hell is just life on earth, which your soul is constantly reborn into after you die, which is pretty dark. You see, Sikhs believe in reincarnation and karma, similar to Buddhists, Hindus and Jains. But Sikhs believe that karma is modified by God, as in, karma might decide what life you're born into, but God makes sure that anyone can become a good person in their lifetime if they try. The goal of Sikh life is to break free from the cycle of rebirth by merging your soul back into God's soul. One does this by realizing that you are already a part of God. You just need to let go of your ego. When your soul remerges back into God's, this is called mukti, which is similar to Hinduism's moksha and means liberation. When you remerge, your soul is released from the cycle of rebirth and death and becomes infinite, timeless, and blissful. This is the closest thing Sikhs have to heaven. 2. Maya. Sikhs believe that God is and created reality. But we forget this because humans are distracted by illusion or Maya, which is anything that takes your mind off God. Maya keeps people trapped in the cycle of rebirth and death. Guru Nanak thought that Maya built a wall between people and God. The wall of Maya is built with the 5 thieves: lust, anger, greed, attachment, and pride. It is the duty of all Sikhs to avoid these thieves. The 5 thieves are caused by how mai, literally I, myself. How mai makes people say, I am this, I am that, and it separates you from others, which blocks you from realizing your oneness with God. This ego causes people to live only for themselves, to spew negativity, and to crave power and wealth. Such a person is called Gurmukh, facing towards desires. Guru Nanak saw the world's problems as the negative effects of ego. Hindu versus Muslim, Israeli versus Palestinian, sitting down wipers versus standing up wipers. All of these conflicts are caused by ego and Maya. The Guru Granth Sahib said it is not religion or race, but it is wealth that divides brothers. But Guru Nanak thought that there was an other direction people could face. By being a spiritual person, practicing compassion, truth, contentment, humility, and love, and meditating on God, you could instead become Gurmukh, facing towards the Guru. How does one become Gurmukh and egoless? Well, Sikhism offers a path to follow that can help, called the 3 pillars. 3 pillars. The 3 pillars are 1. Nam Japo, which is meditation on God and the reciting and chanting of God's name, Way Guru. This is normally done in the morning and before bed. This isn't supposed to just be some mindless ritual either. Sikhs are supposed to genuinely reflect on the qualities of God as they do this. 2. Kirat Karni, working hard and making an honest living. Guru Nanak said, only he who earns his living by the sweat of his brow and shares his earnings with others has discovered the path of righteousness. 3. Wand Chakna. This is sharing the fruits of your labour with others, providing free food and donating to the community. The Sikh tradition of a communal meal or langar at the Gurdwaras is a part of Wand Chakna. The langar or communal free kitchen inside of a Sikh Gurdwara, which is their equivalent of a mosque or church, is open to all who visit, regardless of caste, faith or gender. These serve vegetarian food to all, not because Sikhs have to be vegetarian, but simply because that means all people of all diets can partake. So if you want to taste typical Punjabi food, just go visit a Gurdwara. In Guru Nanak's time, the idea of different castes sitting together on the floor and eating side by side was a revolutionary act. Famously, the Mughal Emperor Akbar visited Guru Arjan and the Guru would not meet with him until he partook in a langar, which the emperor did, sitting side by side with peasants. Guru Nanak claimed an enlightened person are those who view everyone equally, like the heir touching the king and beggar alike. Another vital part of Sikhism that isn't one of the 3 pillars is Seva, which is selfless service. Through service to their community, Sikhs can become more humble and overcome their ego. Seva can include cleaning up the Gurdwara, preparing food, or cleaning dishes in the langar, or it can include volunteering, building things for your community, or subscribing and ringing the notification bell on educational YouTube channels. Through remembering God's name, honest work, and sharing, along with selfless service and avoiding the 5 thieves, a person can rid themselves of egoism and be released from the cycle of rebirth and death. 4. The Khalsa. Guru Gobind Rai was the son of the 9th Guru, Teg Bahadur, who was beheaded by the Mughals and his body was abandoned by his Sikh entourage. They fled easily because no one could recognize them. So, Guru Gobind decided to give Sikhs a distinct look from now on so that they would always be compelled to uphold Sikh values. So, in 1699, Guru Gobind brought his Sikhs together at Anandapur. After their morning prayer, he stood in front of a huge crowd and demanded a human sacrifice. The shocked crowd was silent for a while before one Sikh rose up and entered the Guru's tent. The Guru followed him in, and then the Guru comes out with blood on his sword. He demands another sacrifice. Another Sikh offers themselves and enters the tent. Again, only the Guru comes back out of the tent, bloody sword in hand. Again, another sacrifice. And again, and finally, after the 5th sacrifice, the Guru re-emerges with the 5 Sikhs all wearing saffron-coloured robes. The Guru declares that these are the Panj Pyarang, the 5 beloved ones. They would form the centre of a new Sikh community called the Khalsa. He offered them Amrit, a bowl of sweetened water, and all 5 who belonged to different caste groups drank the Amrit from the same bowl, which would have been a huge deal back then. This signified they had joined a new casteless family, the Khalsa. Each of these volunteers had to leave behind their old surnames or caste names and adopt the same surname, Singh, which comes from the Sanskrit word Simba, meaning lion. I know, right? It has no relation to the Bantu word Simba, which also means lion. It's just a weird coincidence, which is great. The Guru then begged the 5 beloved ones to let him join their Khalsa. They offered him the Amrit, and the Guru became Guru Gobind Singh. Women were admitted to the Khalsa the same way as men. After drinking the Amrit, they received the surname Kaur, meaning princess. The Khalsa gave the Sikhs a new, unified identity, tied together as one family, with one name, without caste, with the goal of defending the weak and promoting justice. Today, many Sikhs still undergo the Amrit ceremony and take the surnames Singh and Kaur.
Kesari,
The Khalsa were also given new rules to follow, which included the wearing of the Panj Kakar, or the 5 Ks. The first was Kes, which is uncut hair to represent discipline. The second was Karga, a small comb in the hair. The third was a Kirpan, a sword to uphold justice and protect the weak, which is nowadays usually a small sword. It is importantly not an offensive weapon, and the Sikh Code of Conduct claims it can only be used to destroy tyrants and oppressors. It must not be used for anything else. The fourth is Kakahira, kind of loose-fitting boxer shorts to represent sexual restraint. And the fifth is Kara, a steel bracelet. Its circular shape represents the infinity of God. Interestingly, the turban is not one of the 5 Ks. Instead, it's worn to cover the Sikhs' long, uncut hair, the kes. Turbans have become essential to Sikh identity and hold very special significance to them. Chances are, if you see someone wearing a turban, the vast majority of the time, that person will be a Sikh, not a Muslim. 5. The Guru Granth Sahib. The Guru Granth Sahib is the holy book of the Sikhs. It contains the teachings of the Gurus and acts as a spiritual guide for Sikhs around the world. It is probably one of the only holy books that contains not only the writings of the religion's founders written by themselves rather than after their death, but also the writing of people from other religions. The writings of Muslims and Hindus can be found throughout, along with references to Judaism, Buddhism and Christianity. Before his death in 1708, the 10th Guru, Guru Gobind Singh, ended the line of human gurus by bestowing guruship on the Adi Granth, turning it into the Guru Granth Sahib, making it similar to both the Bible and Quran and a living prophet at the same time. To break down the name, the word Guru means Guru, Granth means book, and Sahib means Lord. Since that moment, the Guru Granth Sahib has been revered as the current living Guru. It is treated with extreme respect and care. Oddly enough, the Granth is not only read, but sung. It's made up of thousands of hymns. Sikhs don't have mass or service, but a kirtan, meaning communal singing. Normally, these are set to classical Indian music. 6. The Gurdwara. Sikhs gather at Gurdwaras, a word meaning doorway to the Guru. A Gurdwara is only a Gurdwara because it has a copy of the Guru Granth Sahib in it. Men and women of all castes and social standing gather there to join in prayer, singing and eating. This is where you'll find the langar. Anyone can visit a Gurdwara and partake in the service and meal. You only need to follow basic etiquette. Cover your head, remove your shoes, wash your hands as you enter, and do your best not to bring any drugs or tobacco inside. The most important Gurdwara in the world is the Hari Mandir, or Golden Temple, in Amritsar, India. In 1604, Guru Arjan completed work on the Golden Temple and had the Guru Granth Sahib installed inside it. As a gesture of religious tolerance, Guru Arjan invited the Muslim Mian Mir to lay the foundation stone of the Golden Temple. The temple has 4 doors opening on all 4 sides, to show the openness to all cultures and peoples. But on the inside, only 1 door leads to the inner sanctum, indicating that all paths and beliefs eventually lead to the one God. The Golden Temple is the most visited place in the world, with around 6 million visitors each year. The Langar at the Golden Temple serves a free meal to about 100,000 people each day, making it the world's largest free serving kitchen, all run and staffed by volunteers. And the waiting list to volunteer in the Golden Temple has hundreds of thousands of names on it.
That's so cool.
The people on that list will be waiting for a long time. A good way for them to pass the time productively would be to listen to audiobooks over on Audible.
That was very informative. And I don't know why, but I feel like I retain that information maybe a little easier than the Hinduism. I'm not sure, maybe he was going at a faster pace with what is Hinduism, or maybe just because we were so fascinated by this Sikhism from Kesari that, I don't know. I'm not going to say I like this one better, but I retained some of the information, and some of the things that I noticed was, like the last reaction we did, what is Hinduism, we know some comparisons to this and Christianity and our specific religion that we attend. And one of those things was with those 2 gurus that were martyrs, we have in scriptures that we read prophets from a long time ago that were also martyrs. And we teach and we talk about at church from time to time how when a prophet is killed, still holding strong to their beliefs, because of their beliefs, it almost further cements their conviction and the possibility of what they're saying is probably true. And that's fascinating. There's one prophet in particular that was burned alive because of his beliefs, and still being burned alive did not relent and did not say, okay, I'm just joking. So there's a lot of similarities there. That was the first thing that I really picked up on. What was some things that you picked up on?
I mean, just kind of like I just like kind of the overall culture, train of thought of the Sikhs. How, I mean, to me, it felt a little bit more close to home than the Hindu one. I liked the Hindu one. It was very interesting, and I did see similarities. But I mean, being a Christian, the whole, one supreme God, I can understand that. And I liked how just the tolerance of it, like when he was going over the church, not the church, but the
Hardimander? Marnder?
The gold, I'm sorry.
Gold temple.
The gold, yeah, we'll say gold temple. But there were 4 entrances symbolizing, everyone's welcome, and then it all leads into one
cool.
area. I thought that was really neat, and that's something, that I think is true on a religious, on a spiritual level, that, everyone has their own truth, but God kind of leads us together. And we definitely have a lot more in common than we don't. I thought it was really interesting just understand a little bit more what they believe. Just because now when I see someone who practices that belief, based on, I would assume they're turban. I have a little bit more understanding of where they're coming from.
Yeah, because I'm always curious when I see, like in a movie, right, a Sikh who's wearing the turban. I always want to know why. Why the turban? And there's something that most religions they have, whether it's the cross or whether it's certain clothing or whether it's whatever it is, Lent, whatever you have certain beliefs that maybe someone on the outside just doesn't understand. That's weird. Why do you do that? Why do you wear that? I've never really had that experience because I understand conviction and beliefs, and I think it's awesome now that I've not fully understand. I better understand why the turban and the long hair. And in the show Sacred Games, the main character Sardar, he obviously, in my opinion, he must be Sikh because he has the turban. And there's one scene where he's taking a shower and you don't see anything besides just hearing up, but you notice for the first time, oh, he's got some really long hair.
Yeah.
And so it's cool to learn that kind of stuff. I agree with you. There's a lot of similarities, a whole bunch. Now, the peaceful thing, that I would hope that's in most religions, right? But I love the idea of them having a sword or a dagger, and it cannot be used unless it's fighting oppression or tyrants. I think that's awesome. You're helping the little guy, so to speak, and you see someone naturally who you don't know anything about this religion, you see someone in a turban with a sword or a dagger, you're going to think, I'm going to go to the other side of the road. But quite the contrary, this is someone you want to be around because this is someone that believes in a very peaceful, all-world type aspect. And that gold temple you're talking about, I'm telling you right now, I want to visit that place.
Yeah, I want to go too.
I'm not saying I'm going tomorrow, I'm going next month, but at some point in my life, we're going to go visit India. I've got to see that place because not just for the free meal, but I think that is the most amazing thing. Service. He mentioned King Benjamin. That's a prophet that we read about in the church that we go to, and he's teaching the same thing. Serve. It's all about service. If you want to get closer to God, it's about service. It's not about doing this or that. Give of yourself and sacrifice and whatnot. And the idea that there's a waiting list of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people just to go in there and work for free to serve people, that's extremely admirable. That is awesome.
No, it is truly awesome. It actually reminds me of our temples, actually. A lot of volunteer work in there as well.
And a lot of religions have temples, but they're all different and unique in their own way. It's really cool. There's a lot of religions out there that I've learned about to some extent, small extents, that have an experience like their first guru had, where they are convinced that God appeared to them in some form and had a message for them. And it's so cool to see that from different beliefs in different parts of the world. And if we can for a second say all of those experiences happened, then that shows, and this is getting really preachy, but like I said, this is a religious video, we're religious. In my opinion, to me, that shows that God is for everybody. He's not just for one group or one minority or one race or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. This thing just got really fired up because I love learning about all this stuff.
No, I mean, yeah, I agree. I mean, it's hard not to come across as preachy, if you will, but I mean, it's because it's the material, it's the subject matter that we're going over. It would be weird if we started talking about Marvel comic characters.
Find a way, but yes, it'd be weird.
Which are great, don't get me wrong, but I mean, I really enjoyed this video. I would, I really dig the religion. They're very chill, they're very kind, understanding. However, when you gotta stand up, and I appreciate that. So, a lot of people think being good means just being passive as well. Well, you can fight for yourself as well, but really for others, and when it's right. And so I enjoyed it.
What I'm interested in is let us know, is there a movie that's come out about that last guru that they talked about, the son of the guru that got beheaded, and he bestowed the guruship, if you will, into the book? I would love to see that movie because that seems like an interesting story, historical tale about that man's life, where he saw this horrible thing happen to his father, and he didn't start a revolution about it. He didn't start a war about it. He just, what can we do to make sure this doesn't happen again and to make sure things are better for the people that believe the same thing as we do? Let us know if there's a movie about that. If there is, let us know what the title is because that'd be awesome to watch. But with all that being said, we hope you enjoyed this reaction. Again, we were a little preachy, but not really preachy. We were just more explanatory and more detailed about how we believe and how it relates to this. This is the kind of stuff we love learning about, amongst other things as well. And if you enjoy this, go ahead and do all those things we talked about. Till next time.
Take care.